Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the occupant pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwal who are listening, learning, our few sisters who are listening, learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification. Lord willing, this be edifying. So I titled this lesson, Prophecies are hot and heavy and turning up through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. So I got a few clips I'm going to play because these devils' kingdom is falling, man. And it's falling fast, man. Their kingdom, as Yahweh Shah said in Luke 10 and 18, I saw Satan fall as lightning. And we see the devil kingdom is falling, man. And these devils, they are against each other. They always have been. All the way back from the beginning of these devils' rulership with the Greek Empire, with Alexander the Greek. When he died, his four generals was fighting over, right, who's going to be on top. Well, these devils been doing that ever since they've been in rulership, even before, man. They always been fighting amongst themselves about who's gonna be on top. Well, it happened when they were trying to colonize Babylon the Great, man, right? With the Spanish, French, and the British, man. These devils have always been fighting amongst themselves. They have always been separated. They have never been on the same page, man. So, Lord willing, edifying. I got a couple clips I'm going to play, and I got a couple clips I'm going to show, showing you prophecy, man. Prophecy is moving rapidly, man. So let me get this. Let me turn this volume down a little bit. Lock your bell with me.
Lockdowns everywhere and everything. It's for your health. All small businesses are bankrupt. Too many lives ruined because of these closures. Ruining lives to save lives is the hardest part to understand about everything that's going on. The real restrictions will be getting worse and worse. The pandemic restrictions have created 500 new billionaires and pushed 500 million into poverty. The largest wealth transfer in human history from the middle class to the elite. You'll own nothing and be happy. Welcome to the Great Reset.
As I've been saying ever since this thing came out about the what you see on the screen, it say it will only get worse. Inflation hits 40-year high. Prepare yourself for painful costs of living. And everything is going up. Everything is up right now, man. And as the apostles been saying this for years, man, it's gonna go from inflation to hyperinflation. So in 40 years, they said the inflation is at a 7% high, right? And I was saying this, I've been saying this since it came out. It didn't say 6%, it didn't say 8, it said 7%, man, which is right. The number 7 is completion. So it's only gonna get worse from here, man. It's only going to get worse.
The intentional controlled demolition of our socio-economic systems is well underway. Just what the government wants all people to be dependent on them so they can go usher in the Great Reset. You don't need a business. You need to stay home and go broke. It's for your health. Yes, you need money to support, to survive, but you will own nothing and be happy. Yep, this is what you get when you let the government become a tyrant. Forget your future. Forget passing your property on to your grandkids. Oh, yeah, what property? Remember, you will own nothing, but you will be happy. We will be lining up for food if people don't wake up. Our system is built around infinite growth, the constant drive to maximize profits at all times and minimize employee pay and minimize employee benefits. It's what's been in the Great Reset plan all along. Our government no longer cares about its citizens. Want it to change, stop obeying. If everyone just said no, this would not be happening. Right in line with governmental plans to destroy the middle class. Keep complying, people, and this will be the outcome. The government wants complete control, and no one is to own anything. What's next? An orchestrated breakdown of the supply chain? Welcome back to the Atlantis Report. When we consumers have to pay more, somebody makes more money. Granted, in some cases, producers' costs go up, but did line staff wages increase 7% overall nationally last year? A pattern begins to emerge, and that pattern is the classic infantry tactic of advancing under cover of smoke. The pandemic is the smoke that hides the assault. The advancing infantry are the manufacturers, and the poor sods being assaulted are we, the regular folks. Persistent supply chain backlogs and high consumer demand for goods have kept prices elevated. The solution, therefore, is quite simple. Stop buying so much crap. Put the money you were going to spend on a new monster flat.
So lock it for the infomercial.
Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older. But most guys don't do anything about
Screen TV in a mutual fund and watch it grow substantially for a year or two. Repair that old car of yours instead of buying a new one. Wear your old clothes instead of always buying new stuff. Eat less meat or no meat at all. Decide that you don't actually need the very latest iPhone or tablet, computer, or Fitbit. Borrow books from the library instead of wasting money on paperbacks. Honestly, people, stop giving in to the notion that we're driven by endless consumerism and spending. Our landfills are overflowing with stuff we throw away just to make room for new stuff. The fact is that many of the markets with inflated prices involve necessities. Housing costs are a big one. Also, it's tough to reduce energy in heating your home in the short term. Total costs to better insulate from electric to heat pump are also going up. Even the cost of a vegetarian diet has increased, but I don't expect everyone to become a vegetarian.
Hey, and that's spiritual because I was in the grocery store yesterday, and the lady said things are so high that we might have to just become vegetarians. Hey, that's crazy, man. But these things is reality, man. The Lord is destroying Babylon the Great and every other place around the world where these devils is in rulership, man. The Lord got the spirit in these devils to crash, man, to create a new system. And this is what's going on, which is prophecy, man.
Buying a used car is often the frugal action, but
Now, I was just watching this in the news this morning. You got they had Job 9 and 24s on the news this morning complaining about used car sales is up at an all-time high, man. Hey, because they were showing how these Job 9 and 24s is complaining how they don't have a car and they can't even get a used car. Hey, the Lord is just that Deuteronomy 30 and 7 is playing out, man. The Lord is putting these curses on our enemies, man.
It is used car prices that have the steepest inflation. Car repair shops are finding it hard to maintain skilled staff, and their supplies are scarce, with costs increasing. It may sound fine to keep wearing old clothes, but kids grow. Many adults can't show up at their jobs wearing worn-out clothing. Confession? I periodically throw out my tighty-whities and buy new ones. They just get embarrassing. The answer is more on the supply side here. We need to reduce the supplier and supplier chain tangles, and that depends a lot on dealing properly with COVID. Even without COVID, there needs to be better diversification of suppliers, with some of that sourcing coming back to the U.S. The governments wanted an offshore supply chain. They cashed in on outsourcing. They showered tax cuts for them for closing down American factories. And now they're complaining about inflation from supply chain issues? That's hypocritical. Why the confusion? The reason inflation is raging is the ridiculous and anti-American worker decision to move the corporate operations and jobs offshore, meaning a majority of products need to be shipped here instead of made here. And basic greed by companies taking advantage of the pandemic and raising prices. This is all on corporate America, and they're paid for politicians who enable it all. As for the shortage of jobs, what there is a shortage of is jobs that pay a living wage. And the reason for that is because corporations, with the help of the government, destroyed unions and replaced humans with automation without having to pay any price or compensation to society for the displaced jobs and wages. If companies paid more and made those jobs full-time with some level of security, they'd have lots of applicants. Offshoring explains the rising inflation. However, there is an underlying problem beneath all of the more visible ones, like the pandemic most recently. The ability of corporations to send jobs offshore and automate so many others without any compensation to our society has caused immense damage. And the pandemic has exposed our vulnerability to supply chain interruptions. In short, there's a cost to everything. In the case of offshoring and automation, two strategies that were hailed as good for everyone, the cost has been borne by workers and society at large. Meanwhile, corporations and investors have reaped the benefits. Cheap Chinese goods are history. With tariffs and increased transportation costs, the cheap salaries abroad are less of an advantage. Bring the jobs back to the United States. Simulative spending bills at unprecedented levels when the economy is already in recovery, coupled with the continued Fed policy of artificially low rates. Couple that with repeated threats to dismantle certain industries, particularly energy production and transport, canceled pipelines, reduced drilling permits, and you get supply shortages combined with excess demand. Too many dollars chasing too few goods. The Fed sniffs their own gas and thinks the economy is booming. That's why they are talking about tightening the quantitative easing monetary heroin. In reality, the economy sucks and they're tightening into a recession depression. Used to be called
And quantitative easing is just print more money, man. That's why I said in Habakkuk 2, he laden himself with thick clay, man, which is debt.
stagflation. I guess today we have to use bigger words and pretend it's no big deal. The Fed will blame the pandemic or Russia or Trump when it all comes crashing down. They will never blame themselves for creating bubbles and then popping them.
You see, they'll never blame themselves, man, for creating the bubble and then popping it. That's the spirit the Lord got on them, man. That's why I tell you in Psalm 37 and 15, their own sword shall pierce through their own heart, man.
I would like
See, all these snares and traps that these devils is setting up that we may fall continually through our usury, right? All this interest, high interest loans, Hey, that's a trap. That's a standard trap these devils set for us, man. But the scriptures say their own sword shall pierce through their own heart, man. They're gonna fall into the trap which they have made themselves, man. Hey, the scriptures say they have no understanding.
The Fed to explain to me by what mechanism monetary inflation can possibly be reduced without crushing asset bubbles, especially seeing how monetary inflation was brought about in the first place. Inflation isn't driving most of these price increases. Corporate power or greed is driving them. The real reason behind this inflation is greed. Greedy landlords, greedy sellers,
Right.
greedy corporations that are experiencing record profits.
You see? You see how the Lord got the spirit on them to get super greedy, man. As I said in Habakkuk 2, they can never have enough, man. They'll never be satisfied, man. So this is the Lord playing chess with these devils and got them to the point of their greed. Their greed is so horrible, man. They pushing inflation, man. That's the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah.
Greed. Since the 1980s, when the federal government all but abandoned antitrust enforcement, 2/3 of all American industries have become more concentrated. The biggest culprit for rising prices that's not being talked about is the increasing economic concentration of the American economy in the hands of a relatively few giant big corporations with the power to raise prices. If markets were competitive, companies would seek to keep their prices down in order to maintain customer loyalty and demand. When the prices of their supplies rose, they'd cut their profits before they raised prices to their customers for fear that otherwise a competitor would grab those customers away. Corporations are making record profits. Now, how did that happen? Great management? Becoming more efficient? New products? Instead of raising prices 5%, most companies are in a position to make it a 10% increase, and no one will care.
You see, right here. As hoarding intensifies, food prices will face a massive strike. This where we at, man. This where we at right now, man. This is prophecy playing out. So let me get this. I was just watching a movie on Netflix. It's called I Care a Lot. And it's the same chick, this Joe 924 chick from the movie Gone Girl. And she's showing how they using the system to take elderly folks' money, man. They find those, they call them cherries. The one that got a nice account, they owe, they don't really have no family. And they just they throw them in the old folks' homes, man, and they become their guardian and they take their money, man. And these devils do this through their insurance companies, man. Hey, everything this devil has done, it's riches unjustly gotten, man. So let me get this. These devils, man, is something serious, man. And I was going to title this, The World is in Division Because of Them. And it is, man. The world is in a division because of these devils, man. Now let me play this. Because this devil right here, this devil here is hot, man. Oh, so like it. Let me come back. Moving too fast. This devil here is hot, man. Make sure it's sharing. So check this out.
For 2021, the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Roy, is now recognized for 60 minutes as a designee of the minority leader.
I'm just gonna play I'm just gonna play a little bit of this, maybe 3-4 minutes, so you can hear how these devils feel, man.
I thank the speaker. I'm fascinated to learn that I serve in the United States House of Free Stuff. because that's what I've been hearing nonstop.
Did you hear him? He been serving in the United States House of free stuff. Let's play that back. That devil hot, man. They kingdom falling, man.
Learned that I serve in the United States House of free stuff, because that's what I've been hearing nonstop this entire week. There's an unlimited supply of money and resources, apparently, an unlimited supply of dollars that we can continue to print while devastating our economy, devastating the American dollar, and transforming our society by encouraging Americans to believe that there's a free lunch. And there ain't no free lunch. My wife is the product of a single mom growing up in Texas. Her mom worked multiple jobs to send her to college. She worked hard to be able to go to college. She left with $70-something thousand of student loans despite going to 2 top public universities in the state of Texas. And she's not asking for her loans to get repaid because she went there with a free will. She went there and made a choice. She could have chosen a different path. She chose to take the debt. I did the same thing when I went to law school at the University of Texas. I might not have chosen to go to law school if the loans hadn't been available, and that might be fine. What's the fundamental problem? Why has the cost of education skyrocketed in my lifetime at an inflation rate multiple times over virtually every other product and service in this country except for healthcare? Why is it up something like 3,000%? Is it perhaps because we're subsidizing the holy heck out of it? Just thinking perhaps that there might be a correlation to the availability, massive widespread availability of subsidized student loans, the massive subsidization of K through 12 education and higher ed? Do we think there might be a correlation to why the costs have skyrocketed so much? But no. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle now walk in here and say, we don't want to, we're not the party of big spenders. We got a chart here with $1.7 trillion on it with another chart saying cancel student debt. Who's paying for that? Does anybody in this body give a rat's rear end about who's paying for anything at all? No. Oh, no. Then they'll come out here and say $3 trillion of tax cuts. They don't care about economic growth and opportunity, but fine. Why don't we actually have a conversation about spending and taxes? No, we don't do that. We just spend money we don't have. That's what we did today in the continuing resolution to keep this government running. Oh my gosh, panic ensues if you dare question whether or not the government must be funded Saturday morning at 12:01 in the morning. What will the American people do? How will they function if the United States House of free stuff isn't doling out free stuff? No one's in this chamber, of course, just reminding the American people how this place doesn't work. We're now on 5.5 straight years of no amendments being offered on the floor of this august chamber. I'd just like to remind the American people every once in a while that what they saw about how a bill becomes a law is a complete fraud. See, there's a handful of people who get into a room and they decide what you're going to vote on. And the speaker knows it's true, and my colleagues on the other side of the aisle know it's true, and my colleagues on this side of the aisle know it's true because they did it when they were in the majority just as much as my colleagues on the other side of the aisle did it when they were in the majority.
Now you see, that's all I want to play. This devil is hot, man. Babylon the Great is falling, man. Now you see how he say it's just a handful of people that go into a room and they make law, man. They make policy, right? When you go in over to that, I think 2 Maccabees 8, they tell you how they created for themselves a Senate house. Is that 1 Maccabees 8 or 2nd? Let me check. See, these devils' kingdom is falling, man. And they upset, man. But they upset with themselves, man. Yeah, 1 Maccabees 8 and 10, it reads, it say, moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people to the end they might be well ordered. And they doing this for themselves, man. But you see, they've been going against each other since they've been in the rulership. Since the time of Alexander the Greek, these devils have always been separated. I got some clips I want to show. I ain't gonna play none. I think I'm gonna play one or two of these. Because what's going on now, let me show you this. I did a lesson on this a couple weeks ago. They say China takes advantage of U.S. hesitancy with Saudi Arabia. So now China and Saudi Arabia is doing business deal together, man. This is a part of prophecy. This is a part of Obadiah 1 and 7. Let's play some of this.
Evening. This is the news on RT America. I'm your host, Farron Franzek, bringing you the headlines from the
This
RT
is serious right
America
here, man.
right here in our nation's capital.
Saudi Arabia is the #1 ally to Babylon the Great, man. And they doing deals with China.
Here's the headlines we're digging deep for you on. First up, Saudi Arabia teaming up with China to develop green energy. So what does the United States have to say about their biggest ally in the Middle East? Working with one of its biggest adversaries. We're going to ask the expert. Plus, the United States warning of a false flag operation by Russia. Kind of sounds like the pot calling the kettle black, huh? We're going to have a full report. And finally, what's the future look like for tennis star Novak Djokovic after his deportation from Australia? We're going to ask our special guest. We have got a lot to get to, folks, so let's get after it and question more. Saudi Aramco, the insanely wealthy national oil company of Saudi Arabia, is teaming up with China's Nextel, announcing that it will establish a non-metallic excellence and innovation center in Beijing, with the hopes that these non-metallic materials one day might replace carbon steel in construction projects. Now, this is a very similar partnership that Saudi Aramco has with others like the United States, the UK, and the UAE. But the partnerships between Saudi Arabia and China are getting deeper, folks, and I'm about to show you why. Last August, you had the 5th China Arab States Expo, where a total of 277 deals were made between these Arab states and China. Now, in those deals, you have all sides pouring boatloads, almost $24 billion into about 200 projects, with China giving $423 million of its own money to Saudi Arabia's Red Sea Integrated Smart Energy Investment Project, along with Saudi Arabia returning the favor with billions of dollars going to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is Saudi Arabia, who has always relied on oil sales, now going green? Well, it's all part of a reform package promoted by the current Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who wants to shift the Saudi economy away from oil. However, Saudi Arabia sells about a quarter of its oil to China now, and a new deal just struck last week. Saudi Arabia will now supply almost half of Poland's oil, which is kind of a bold move since Russia is right on Poland's backyard steps, but a U.S. ally, no more the less. Joining me now, though, to make some sense of all of this, we had David Tawil. He's going to join us now. So there's a lot to unpack here, David. Great to see you again. I'm not going to hold it against you. You're a Michigan fan from this Purdue grad, so here we go. But a lot to unpack there. So let's just start with kind of the macro, and then we'll go to the micro. Saudi Arabia and China, as I mentioned, it's the biggest ally for the U.S. in the Middle East. Is teaming up with China a big slap in the face to the U.S., David?
Certainly.
And that's all we need to hear. Certainly, man. This is prophecy, man. The Lord said in Obadiah 1 and 7, they that eat thy bread have deceived thee and laid a wound under thee, right? So let's get this. Hey, this is prophecy, man. These nations are starting to separate from Babylon the Great. Now, this is the former foreign let me pull it up. Former foreign secretary of India. Listen to what he got to say of what's going on with Babylon the Great in Russia. Check this out.
Sibal, who's the former Foreign Secretary of India. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks for your time. We've just brought our viewers this news. NATO announcing it's essentially moving greater military forces to Eastern Europe. It's made this announcement quite clearly on the NATO website. Ships, fighter jets. How would you first react to that news?
I think this is playing with fire. The core question is the expansion of NATO to Ukraine. And if that problem is resolved, everything else falls in place. And I'm always surprised why Finland and Sweden could remain out of NATO during the Cold War when the Soviet Union was very strong and its threat was being felt all over the world and continue to be outside NATO. So why can't there be an understanding around Ukraine? Why is the West, especially the United States, pushing for Ukraine's membership of NATO? Now, if on this there can be a fundamental understanding, then I think the rest of what is happening is totally unnecessary and will lead to more and more tensions and conflict, which will have a fallout on the rest of the world, including our country. And the eye will be taken away from other dangers that are developing from our point of view in Asia. So I just fail to understand why there's such a blocked mind when it comes to understanding the legitimate security interests of Russia and this whole business which has gone on for years for demonizing President Putin personally and seeking a change of regime in Russia by various ways, by earlier promoting color revolutions and everything else. And the Ukraine crisis is actually a direct fallout from this policy that has been pursued over the last few years. Europe had succeeded in sending out a message to the world that with the creation of the European Union, they had created a haven of peace, they had buried past animosities, and that its soft power will not define the new world order. But what is happening is totally to the contrary. Its soft power has eroded. It's once again getting involved in destabilizing conflicts, and what is surprising is that Europe is not in control of its destiny. It is United States, its domestic politics that are pushing for a confrontation over Ukraine. And when you have somebody like Victoria Nuland, quite apart from other leaders, who are deeply immersed in anti-Putinism and anti-Russia deciding policy, it is inconceivable that Europe will be given a free hand. And therefore, United States has to come on board, which is not going to be easy, as I said, because it is now part of their domestic politics. And after the Afghanistan debacle, if Biden succumbs, is seen succumbing to Russian demands, it will damage U.S. power, it will damage NATO, it will damage U.S.'s global position and its reliability as a partner. So there are huge stakes on both sides, and it is imperative that there is a bilateral understanding between India and the United States, which is the foremost need, because Europe will fall in place. And you mentioned earlier what the German naval chief said in Delhi. This was actually a live streaming occasion. He knew he was speaking publicly, and what he said makes eminent sense. He spoke truth to power. But the mood now in Europe and the United States is such that they don't want to listen to a truth to power. And the poor fellow has had to submit his resignation.
Well, you see, they can't listen. Because, hey, this is the Lord, man. Man goings out the Lord, man. So you see, even this guy say Babylon the Great NATO is playing with fire, man. They playing with fire. So let me get this. I got a couple clips. I ain't finna play them. I'm just showing. These are major prophecies that's playing out. Now look. Iran said they want these guys, man. Right here. Iran demands Trump Pompeo face trial for Soleimani assassination. Israel implicated. You see this? Man, there was never a time when other nations was coming against Babylon the Great, man. with proud speech, man. Okay, with such strong words, man. They say they want their head, man. Now also they killed this other guy. I forgot his name. Well, I can't pronounce his name so like because I pulled it up on Google. But he was one of those Iranian scientists, man, who created the missiles, man. And they killed this guy. What was it, November 2020, man? Iran ain't playing, man. They want your head. So these nations is separated from Babylon the Great. Let me come back to me and pull this other one. Just want to show that. Remember, these nations is at their head, man. Everybody want a piece of this devil, man. So let's get this one. Here's another one. Ukraine and NATO stirs up fears of World War III with Russia, man. This prophecy, man. And you jakes out there talking about ain't no missiles, ain't no World War III. Well, why is these titles keep coming up, man? Ukraine and NATO stirs up fears of World War III with Russia, man. Why? Because it's prophecy. Revelations 9 and 12 say, one woe is past, and behold, two more woes come hereafter. Revelation 11:14 reads, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly, man. These are prophecies playing out, man. And we sitting here watching it, man. So let me get this other one. Showing you these. I did a lesson on these a little while ago, a few weeks ago. I'm just bringing them back because these things is playing out, man. We are closer than ever to seeing Yahushua return, man. Here's another one. It's an infomercial, but the point I want to make right here is say China backs Russia in NATO dispute. That's prophecy, man. China is with Russia, man. Just like Iran with Russia. And as the scripture says in Ezekiel 38, Russia shall be a guard to these nations, man. Now, we see World War III brewing up, right? What the Lord say in Revelation 7 that the angels are holding back the four winds, right? So as the angels are holding back the four winds, the pressure is building up, man. This is a major prophecy. Other than World War III, man. These are the two major prophecies, man. Right? The MOTB and World War III. They say brain implants inbound. In must we trust. You see? Brain implants. He said 2022 is the year, and they pushing it, man. It was a video I was looking at earlier. Pompeo lost weight, man. If you remember how Mike Pompeo was, I think his name was Mike Pompeo. He was fat, man. This guy done lost a lot of weight, man. Why? Because he's stressed out, man. Babylon, hey, they want him in Trump head, man. Iran. These are major prophecies, man. And Babylon the Great is separated, man. Everybody's tired of this devil. As I was watching the news, people complaining, man, about the money, about the inflation, about cars. I went to get gas Friday. The gas was $3.07 at the place I went. I happened to go by the place today. The gas was $3.17. Now was just $3.07 Friday. And another place I was passing by, the gas is $3.33, man. Hey, this devil have destroyed the earth, man. So let me get these precepts. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 1. It reads, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. That's when things is done decently and in order. As the judge of the people is himself, So are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. This is when this is when the righteous is in authority, man. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So you got a wicked king ruling. How is everything else going to be, man? You got these guys that's greedy, man, full of greed, man. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. This is verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. These devils got to move. They got to be moved, man. Verse 9 reads, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. These devils, they don't have no integrity. So they just, hey, everything must go, man, with these devils, man, because they are so greedy. This is but as the scriptures say, 2 Ezra 11:39, are not thou it that remaineth of the fourth beast, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times may come through them. See, these devils is destroying themselves, man. This is Psalms 37:14. It reads, the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bow shall be broken. See, this is the Lord using these devils to destroy themselves, man. He's using, as it said in Revelation 20, this devil shall come out of the caves and deceive the world, right? It said the four quarters of the earth and Gog and Magog, man, right? Let's read that. The Lord, hey, this is the master chess player, man. This is Revelations 20, reading the point. Revelations 20:7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. The Lord is stirring these devils up to make these their own people, destroy them, man. Because the Russians is they Edomites as well, man. The Lord is using them to destroy them, man. So as I was going to title the lesson, the world is in division because of them, man. But the Lord said, what is 2 Ezra 11:38? The end of death times may come through them, man. So all these things they created, they went from the atomic bomb to nuclear capability. Well, that's because that's you destroying yourself, man. They got chemtrails in the air, GMO food. The world is destroyed, man. As the scriptures say, the world has been made a wilderness in Isaiah 14, man. Well, who's making the world a wilderness? It's these devils. And the Lord say, them that destroy the earth, he got to destroy you, man. And that's only, we know for a fact, man, there's only one nation of people that's destroying the entire planet, man. Only one nation. It say, and it shall and shall go out to the sea of nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, which is Russia, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So the Lord using these devils to destroy these devils, man. Right? This is Ecclesiastes 14 in verse 5. It reads, he that is evil to himself, you see that? He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? And I was thinking about what the elder, Carial, or the elder from LA, one of the elders from LA, he was like, if you see one of these devils doing good, hey, that might be a Jake, man. Because these devils can't do good. Esau, Edom cannot do good, man. It's a Ecclesiastes 14:5. He that is evil to himself. What does that mean? His people is drinking GMO food, is eating GMO foods. drinking contaminated waters. They breathing in chemtrails too, man. This devil is destroying us and his people. He don't care about his, he don't even care about his own people. And as we go back to prophecy of this devil, what did it say? When you read in Genesis 25, man, when Jacob said, "Sell me this day your birthright," what did this devil say? You can have it. I don't care about it. Showing you that he doesn't care about his, he didn't even give a care about him having kids later on down the line, and everything that he inherited from Abraham, he was gonna be able to give it to his kids, man. Which it was prophecy for us to get it anyway. But the point I'm making is this devil don't care about his people, man. They eating GMO foods, they drinking contaminated water, they bathing in contaminated waters, right? Breathing in chemtrails. They part of the transformers out here. They part of the murder MDK, right? He don't care about his people. It say he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods, man. Because this devil is greedy. He can't just get what he got and sit down and chill. No, they need more, man. There is none worse than he that envieth himself. These devils, envying themselves, man. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. That's why the Lord say these devils are the wickedest nation on the planet, man. It say, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, man. Like the elder was saying, man, if this devil do something good, man, hey, it ain't for your good, it's for his, man. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness, man. That's these devils. Verse 8, the envious man have a wicked eye, he turneth away his face and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. You see, Habakkuk 2. This devil is not satisfied with what he got, man. This devil control the entire planet, man. He got the birds chipped, the whales and the dolphins and the animals chipped. These devils, they have more than hearts can wish, man. But yet they are not satisfied. It says again, Ecclesiastes 14:9, a covetous man is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a nigger at his table, man. These devils, that's why they are the real niggas, man. This is these devils, man, something serious, man. This is Luke 11:17. And this is why the world is upset with these devils. Matter of fact, let me get this. This is Micah 2:1. It reads, woe to him that devises iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. What did Job 9:24 say? The earth was given into the hand of the wicked, right? It say, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, right? They call themselves the Greeks, the Romans, right? They took over Mount Seir from the Horites. They stole that. That wasn't theirs. It say, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a proverb against you. And this is the day, man, when the Lord put the spirit in Abba Bivin to come on the scene and bring this truth, man. That was the day, man. We in the last days when it's time to proclaim this devil wickedness to his face, man, in great boldness. And that's why these devils is going to come down with great wrath, man. They run out of time, and brothers is going hard pushing this gospel, man. It say, in that day, one shall take up a proverb against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed the portion of my people. How have he removed it from me? Turned away, he have divided our fields. And this applies to the other heathen nations as well, man. This devil done did, hey, rape, rob, murder, pillage, and plunder throughout the four corners of the earth, man. And he hasn't stopped. Why? Because it's in the power of their hands. When the morning is light, they practice it, man. They sit upon their beds at night, like I tell you in Job 24, and they plot, man. They plot, man. This is Luke 11 and 17, and it reads, but he, knowing their thought, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. These devils not on one accord, man. All these devils are separated, man. This is Mark chapter 3. Read these precepts, hey, because the Lord said this a few times, man. Mark 3 and 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. Hey, that's prophecy, man. The Lord said this in Luke 12. This is Luke 12 and 49. Luke 12 and 51. Salakia. It reads, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division. Oh, what did the Lord say? Verse 49. I come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? There's a fire burning. I forgot where it was, Colorado or somewhere. Burning up. It was a park. Some park it was burning. I forgot what state it was in. I was looking at it, I think it was early this morning on the news. Hey, the Lord, these are prophecies, man. Fire's being often sent out. We was talking on Saturday, because on the news, I think it was Friday, Saturday morning, there was a bear that went into this guy's house, man. Tried to get his dog, a black bear, man. It say that a wild beast shall change their places, man. These are prophecies that's playing out, man. Wild beasts changing places, women giving birth to menstruous children, menstruous women giving birth to children, women having giving birth to children. Yeah, it was in Colorado. They say, and it was a snowstorm and the place was on fire. Yeah, bro, that's crazy, man. The water, a snowstorm, and it was a big fire, man, burning down the park, man. That's the Lord say, fire shall be often sent out, man. Wild beasts shall change their places, right? Women shall give birth to menstruous women shall give birth to monsters. Then it said that women shall give birth to kids 2 or 3 months old and they shall live, man, which is premature kids, man. In 2nd Ezra 9, it said that there shall be uproars, right? Other people, man, earthquakes in diverse places. Yahweh Shah told us about these things, man. But Jake talking about ain't no World War III, ain't no missiles in the Bible. You guys are delusional, man. This is Luke 12 and 51 again. It reads, suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth, I tell you nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3, man. And that goes into your family, that goes into the governments. Hey, the Lord is not here. The Lord did not come to bring love and peace, man. It tell you in Matthew 10, what that 34? Let's read that. We are in some serious times, man. Prophecies are playing out, and you need to stay prayed up, man. It's Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. A sword, man. And what do you do with a sword, man? Hey, devour much flesh, man. This is Isaiah 42 and 13. And it reads, the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. What we see going on right now, the Lord is stirring up jealousy, man, in your home, with your friends and family members, at work, you see it, at the plantation, everywhere, man. Everywhere you turn, people, hey, the Lord is stirring up jealousy, man, because we are in a time of war, man. We are not in a time of peace, man. It say, the Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. It tell you in Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. And when Yahweh shall return, he's coming in the vengeance of his father to bring what? War, destruction, and then deliverance, man. Or deliverance and then destruction. Because the elect got to get beamed up out of here before destruction happens. And that's why I said the righteous shall scarcely be saved. It say verse 14, I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. We've been telling you this, man. This is Habakkuk 1:5. It reads, behold ye among the heathen and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days which you would not believe, though it be told to you. And this is being told over and over and over, man. This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. And that's what we see going on, man. Right? Isaiah 47:1. Where it said, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, man. The spirit of Egypt is failing, man. So for all you jakes, you still trying to prosper here, hey, you're going to be destroyed, man. The monetary system is collapsing. The infrastructure is corrupted. Everything about this place is corroding, man. And they tell you in Isaiah 14, it said the worms. Let's read that. This is Isaiah 14 and verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. That's being destroyed, consumed. Corruption, man, corroded. That's Babylon the Great, man. This place is falling, man. It tell you in Jeremiah 51, there is no balm for this place. It cannot be healed, man. There is no ointment, no medicine that you can put on this wound, man. This wound is grievous. So it's a grievous, wide open wound, man. And this time, the head will not be healed, man. The head of this beast, this is the last head of the beast, man. Okay, as the scripture tell you in Daniel 7, right? We at the feet of this beast. Hey, and they barely holding on with their claws, man. This place is done, man. This is Ecclesiasticus 13 in verse 3. It reads, Salakia. Let me go back. Ecclesiastes, well, I said 13. In verse 3, it reads, the rich man have done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. If thou have anything, he will live with thee, yeah, he will make thee bear, and will not be sorrow for it. And that's what this devil has done. When you read in Habakkuk 2, it tell you that he put the bottle to all the nations and made them drink. Now he looking at their nakedness. What the Lord say, the world gonna see your nakedness. Like it said Jeremiah 49:10. He said he made Esau bear, man. Because these devils, their whole agenda is to take from everybody, man. And they ain't trying to give you nothing back. It say, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, see, that's what the elder was saying in LA, man. When the elder was down here. Hey, if a devil, they ain't good, man. There is not one good Edomite on the planet, man. If he, Ecclesiastes 13:6, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. You see? And that's Jake, man. That's why the Lord said in Isaiah 30:1, they take a covering, but not of the Lord, man, that they may add sin to sin. Because this is the man of sin that you have hope in, man. It tell you in what's that? Jeremiah 17:5, right? Woe to them that trust in man, that making flesh their arm. You jakes, man. It say, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope. He will speak, he said, he will speak thee fair, and say, what wantest thou? He will shame thee by his meats, until he have drawn thee it say twice or thrice, and at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. And this devil, man. We talking about Esau Edom, man. It say, beware that thou be not deceived and brought down into thy jollity. For if thou be invited of a mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much the more will he invite thee. Press thou not upon him, lest thou be put back. Stand not far off, lest thou be forgotten. And this devil, quick to use Jake, man. It say, verse 11, it say, affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. You see, you can't believe nothing this devil say, man. Believe not his many words, for with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. But cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing, when thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. It say, love the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, all thy life, and call upon him for thy salvation. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. And look, show you how cold these devils is. They don't even love their nation, man. They only love them that's of that, they got that bag, man. Right? It say every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. And that's why Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 3:18, I think it is, when he said they are brute beasts, man. They are brute beasts, man. And the Lord said it in Genesis 3, right? Above, he is the worst beast above all the cattle of the field, man. So amongst all 18 nations that's on the earth, these devils, Esau, Edom, is the worst beast out of all 18 nations, man. It say, all flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like, man. And that's what the Lord made a separation, man. We wasn't meant to be joined together with these devils, man. It say right here, Ecclesiastes 33 in verse 10. It say, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord, Yahweh Shema shall have divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified. It's saying set near himself, which are the Israelites, but some of them have he cursed and brought low. This goes back to Genesis 3. What did he say? Ye are cursed above all cattle, upon every beast of the field. On thy belly shall thou go, right? Which is being the basis of men, the lowest of the low. And dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life, which is what? Confusion, man. Everywhere this devil go at, he brings confusion, man. It say, but some of them have he cursed and brought low. And to tell you that in Proverbs 3 and 33, it said the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. Who is the wicked? It's tell you again in Isaiah 34, man. Right? He said he had indignation and he have indignation with them, and they are cursed people forever, man. In Isaiah 34 and 5. It said, but some of them have he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liking him best. The Lord made them to be the way they is, man. You'll never be able to say there's some good Edomites out here, man. Verse 14 reads, good is set against evil. There's no mingling, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. The Lord made Esau and Jacob to be total diverse from each other, man. It tell you that Jacob is a plain man dwelling in tents. Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. What was Cain? What was Cain? Cain was like a man of the field, man. It said he was a tiller of the earth. That's a man of the field. What was Abel? Abel was just like Jacob, man. He was a plain man dwelling in tents, man. Show you that Cain and Esau got the same spirit. Why? Because Cain and Esau is reincarnated, man. Cain was reincarnated into Esau. Abel was reincarnated into Jacob, man. One against another, man. This is plain. We was never made to be together with these devils, man. So, as the elder said, if you come across a person that seems to be a so-called white person, right, which is their lineage go back to Esau, Edom, man, they can't do good, man. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10. It reads, "Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so of his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place." And Apostle Hart told this guy from GOCC, this guy had brought in some Edomites. But what happened? As the story goes, they tried to take over the congregation, man. It say, "Never let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat," which he tried to do to this guy, Ricard GOCC. It say, "And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pit a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come now, wild beasts?" These devils are wild beasts, a brute beast. They are serpents, man. It say, this is verse 16, "An enemy speaking sweetly with his lips." And I always tell you how cunning, how crafty, how conniving these devils is with their words, man. That's why I say they wet their tongue like a sword, even bitter words. In Psalm 64, man. It tell you in Psalms 94 and 20, they frame mischief by law, man. Woe to him that decree unrighteous decrees. In Isaiah 10 and 1, that's what these devils do, man. They use their pen to push their policy, man, to destroy nations, man. It's an enemy speaking sweetly with his lips, but in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. Hold on. Here's the same precept in Proverbs 26. Let's read it. These devils, man. And that's why there's a separation. That's a slakia. That's why there is a separation in all countries, man. Though you help out Shema Shah, join these devils, like I said in Revelation 17, right? He put the spirit on them to get their kingdom, to get their mind, everything to the beast, until the words of the Lord shall be fulfilled, man. Well, these devils, hey, North America allegedly is the biggest importer export on the planet, man. So everybody got to play ball to sell their goods here. Like I said, Obadiah 1 and 7. Them, it say, all the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Them that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Everybody got to sell their goods here, man. Because this is the #1 importer exporter, man, on the planet, man. Babylon the Great, the cash cow, they call it, man. It say, Proverbs 26 and 24. It's the same thing it just said in Ecclesiastes. It reads, Proverbs 26 and verse 24. "He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart." 7 is completion. It said there are 7 abominations in his heart. This devil have no righteousness nowhere, man. From his toe tips to the strings of his hair, this devil is wicked, man. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Complete wickedness, man. It say, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His hatred is covered by deceit. Do you understand that? It say his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. And that's why the Lord said he was going to make this devil, he was going to expose him. right? He gonna make Esau better. Everybody see the wickedness. It say, whose hatred is covered by the sea, his wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation. Now we see what's going on. All the nations are coming against this devil. Why? Because of their draconian constitution, their draconian measures, their draconian laws, man. Their legislations, their policy, their philosophies, their democracy has destroyed the planet, man. And everybody see who this devil really is, man. The nations, hey, my saying, the nations is tired. Hey, when you at school and there's a bully at the school, and he's always taking your money every day for weeks, months. He been taking your money and 6, 7 other people's money. Well, what happened eventually? These people get together and say, you know what? We can take this nigga, man. We can take this nigga. All we gotta do is come together with a strategy, and we can take this nigga, man. And what happened? They get together, and the bully get his ass beat, man. Every time, man. And we done say, I done seen it many times over, man. Niggas want to be a bully at the schoolhouse. Yeah, one day, man, a bully gonna get beat up, man. Cause you can't whoop everybody. There's already somebody out there that can whoop you, man. I don't care how tough and strong you is, man. There's always somebody out there that can whoop that ass, man. This is back in Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 16. Again, it say, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagines how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. This nigga can't be satisfied with blood. He can't, it's not enough. Man, what's going on with my page, man? It's not enough. It's not enough that this devil kill you. He got to take your land. He got to take whatever goods you had. Probably take your rib if they don't kill them. Take your kids, put them in slavery or whatever. But take them and terrify them to get the adrenochrome out of them and drink that, man. It's devil. It say, verse 17, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. Who? The wicked. It saying, though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And that's your government, man. They pretend to help you. We're gonna give you some more, we're gonna give you another stimulus. We're gonna give you more stamps. They done throw 4, 5, 600 extra dollar stamps for you. You thinking, man, these devils is not helping you, man. They deceiving you. And that's what the Lord said in Isaiah 30, man. They take a covering that they may add sin to sin, man. This devil not helping you. He's destroying you, man. It say, he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. And that's what these devils do. They have always been changing their countenance. And what did the Lord say? Meddle not with him in Proverbs 24 and 21. Fear the Lord and the king, and meddle not with him that is given the change, man. Which applies to these 2/3 niggas in the circumcision of Israel, man. Talking about they got the truth. These niggas change, man. When they change, they got that bag, man. This devil, Esau Edom, who gave them the bag. That's why Jake changing. A devil dangle a carrot in front of you with a $100 bill wrapped around it, and you chasing for the rest of your life, man. You ready to throw away everything, all your principles, all your integrity, all your morals and standards for the bag, man. And that what the other nations did, man. Hey, Esau pulled up on him with the sword. We're like, hey, get down or lay down. What you gonna do? You gonna get down with us, or we gonna take what you got, and we gonna bury you, man. And we gonna make a building, and it's gonna be over top of your bones, man. That's what these devils do. Get down and lay down. But you, one way or the other, man. This guy Gaddafi, man. Esau had to go in there and move him. He was talking about doing something different, man. If you trying to do anything different from Esau Edom's standard, what is called, and when you look up in Colossians 2:8, it said the rudiments of the world. When you look at the word rudiments, it means foundation, first principles, essentials, right? So when you try to do something different according to this devil principles, You gotta go, man. You gotta go. And that's why these nations is pissed off with these devils, man. This is Ecclesiastes 11:33. It reads, bring not every man, Salakia, wrong precept. This is Ecclesiastes 11:33. It say, take heed of a mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blot, man. And that's what these devils do. All they do is work mischief, man. This is Psalms 33. No, Psalms 38 in verse 12. It reads, it say, they also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things and imagine deceits all the day long. And that's what these devils do, man. All they bring is destruction, confusion, man. And nations is tired of these devils, man. That's how we know for a fact, man. We are closer, as I tell you in Romans 13:11, man. We are closer to the end than when you first believed, man. You see how this prophecy is playing out, man. The world is in an uproar because of these devils, man. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It reads, because his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And we know it, we see it. But the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, also, because he transgressed by wine, which is his philosophies, his policies, his legislation, his draconian measures, man. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is deaf and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations. Obadiah 1:7 say, all the men of thy confederacy, man. It go back to Psalm 83, man. Every nation is joined to these devils, man. It say, it said, but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people, man. That's why you have a UN in New York, and all the nations is joined to, well, most of the nations. And they tell you there's 193 nations that's joined to Babylon the Great, man. You see why? Because this devil had the biggest sword, man. But now we're starting to see the Lord put the spirit in these other nations to create them some swords. Not nobody's afraid of this devil, man. Not everybody starting to move different, man. Turkey, India, hey, China, they moving different, man. They moving different, man. It say, shall not all these take up a parable against him? Who? It say, but gather unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. So it say, shall not all these take up a parable against him? Yeah. You saw what India just said. They said they playing with fire. If they think they finna go over there and just take Ukraine from Russia, you are playing with fire, man. You heard India say it. But there's no understanding in these devils, man. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay. Debts. That's why they got quantitative easing, man. They just print more money, man. They just print worthless FRNs, man. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee? Who? The other nations. Check in Isaiah 14, man. And awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. What's booties? A spoil, man. You about to get spoiled, man. It say, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Who is the remnant? The chief ones of these countries, the ones that's in power, man. All the ones that's in power of these countries, they finna destroy these devils over here, man. They got power too. They got missiles. The Lord gave them. The Lord ain't just give it to you, man. He done spread it to all the nations. Now they got missiles. Now they got a big militia, man. It say, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. You don't want to spoil many nations. I had to tell you that Alexander he say he won many strongholds, man. It say that the earth was quiet before him, man. That's been these devils' lot since they've been in place, since the Greeks, man, since Alexander, man, these devils have been taking every stronghold, man. Tell you that in Habakkuk 1. Let's read this. This Habakkuk 1 and 6. It reads, for lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. Their horsemen shall spread themselves. Babylon the Great have over 800 military bases around the world. And this was a few years ago. The numbers came about from RT. Ain't no telling how many military bases they got. But it was over 800 military bases around the world. It say, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, just like the Roman Empire. And their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteneth to eat. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind. Alexander did this. And they shall gather the captivity as the sand. Who is the captivity? You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. And he got the other nations captive through their policies and legislations, man. It say, and they shall scoff at the kings, which they did at us, especially Antiochus Epiphanes. It say, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. Like it said in Ecclesiastes, he shall laugh thee to scorn, right? This devil, when he overthrow you, man. It said, they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. Talking about us, man. It said, they shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. They shall deride every stronghold, man. If this is not Esau, Edom, who is it? Because the show ain't Japhet, man. I got a few more precepts. Let me go back to Habakkuk 2. It say Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. And these are the ones that's in rulership in all the other countries, man. Because of men's blood, and for violence of the land and the city, and all that dwell therein. It say, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. And that's what they did, man. It say that he may be delivered from the power of evil. These devils, these Rothschilds, these Rockefellers, these Oppenheimers, these DuPonts, these Gettys, right? These are the ones, man, that have set their nests on high, man. They don't care about the regular six-pack Job 9 and 24. They don't care about them, man. Because if they did, it wouldn't be chemtrails. It wouldn't be GMO food. This is verse 10. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and have sinned against thy soul. Hey, this devil have destroyed the planet, man. That's what the Lord said is. You got to be destroyed. This is Jeremiah 51 and 24. And the Lord said, hey, we see them doing this in ours. We watching these devils do this. That's why I said Matthew 13, 16 and 17, blessed are your eyes, for ye see. Because many righteous, it said many righteous and prophets, many righteous men and prophets desire to see the things that we watching every day on world news, man. Get out of your local news and watch world news, man. It's popping off out here. The prophecies are popping off, man. The Lord, things are turned up, man. Hey, shalom to all the occupant not walking the comment board. Shalom. Yahba Shema Shah, Bahashem Kakwadash, Barakathum. Bye for tuning in. It say, Jeremiah 51 and 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all that evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah. Behold, the Lord say, in our sight, we see these devils doing it. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountains, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and I will make thee a burnt mountain. Let's get this in the Revelation. It's Revelation 11:18. And the nations were angry. You see? And the nations were angry. And thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward, Salakia, unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name. The saints, the prophets, and them that fear the name of Yahweh Shema Shah is only Israelites. And only 1/3. Because 2/3 is calling on Yahweh, Yahshua, Yeshua, Yehuda, Yah. You niggas gonna get put to death, man. It say small and great, and should it destroy them which destroy the earth. And there's only one nation of people that's destroying the entire planet, man. And it's Esau Edom, man. The Edomites, the so-called white man. That's who's destroying the earth, man. Now this is Job chapter 20 and verse 26. And it reads, it say, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. The missiles. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle, right? It shall be ill with him that's left, which is who? Them elites. That's why I tell you Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, the keepers of the house tremble, man. It say, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity. What heavens? You got the internet, man. The World Wide Web revealing this devil. You can go on Google and type in everything, if you can think of it. If you never heard of it, you can think of it. If you type it in Google or DuckDuckGo, all this devil wickedness will come up, man. No matter what you type in, man. How they slaughtered Gad and Reuben and Issachar and Ephraim and Manasseh, all them 10 tribes. It'll come right up on Google or DuckDuckGo. It'll show you how these devils did. They got all track records. The Lord had them to document everything, man. The slaves that was threw off the boats. Well, they don't got, they ain't gonna, we can't find all of it, but you can go and look and see what these devils did, man. There was a lot of Jakes, a lot of Judah, Benjamin, Levi throwed off of the ships over here, man, that didn't make it because of all the feces and vomit that they had. They had to chained up next to each other, man. This devil, man. Then you niggas talking about you gonna pass a bill so they won't feel discomforted for their guilt about slavery. Hey, you devils is something else, man. It say Job 20 and 27, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity. Everything about these devils is exposed, man. And that's why that nigga, what his name is, Jay Rockefeller talking about they never should have invented the internet. Well, you did, and it wasn't of you, man. The Lord put the spirit in you devils to do that. It say, and the earth shall rise up against him, man. The earth shall rise up against this devil, man. And we seen it happen, man. We seen it happen, man. Truth have sprung upon the earth, man, and these devils can't hide. It say, this is the portion of a wicked man from power, and the heritage appointed unto him by power, Yahweh Shema Shah. Oh, it say, Salakia, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from power, Yahweh Shema Shah, and the heritage appointed unto him by power, man. That's their lot. That was a precept I was holding up too, as Psalm 17 and verse 14, what I wanted to make. How this devil lead the rest of his substance to his babes. You wicked niggas, man. This is Job right here. Let me get it. Matter of fact, this is Psalms 17 and 13. It reads, arise, O power, Yahweh Shema Shah. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah. Disappoint him. Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. From men, which are thy hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children and lead the rest of their substance to their babes, man. These wicked devils. Well, they got a portion. The Lord got a hedge around them devils, man. So back in Job, this is Job. Oh, let me get this. Psalm 49 and 11. It reads, their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You see, these devils in their pride, man, thinking that they'll never go down. Well, we starting to see these devils is falling, man. And you got these regular six-pack Joe 924s. Hey, they ready to take you devils down too, man. Because it ain't no more, like the article said, ain't no more middle class. You either on top or you on the bottom, man. And you got Jakes sliding around here in Challengers and Chargers and Benzes, BMWs and Lexuses. Jake sliding in the new Camaros. I mean the new Corvettes. And you see, you pull up, you drive down the road, see Esau riding in a old 1993. Old 19, I'm talking about not for the antique style. I'm talking about Pintos riding in buckets while Jake sliding good, man. It show you the Lord is turning things upside right, man. Right side up. Right? It'll tell you in Isaiah 25:7, man. Jake doing good out here. Even though they demons, they 2/3 demons. But show you how the Lord got Deuteronomy 30:7 playing out, man. And we watching it play out, man. These devils will not be on top forever, man. Because we see the regular Joe 924s. Hey, a lot of them is lower than we is, man. This is Job 24. I want to read these 2 points in here. It's Job 24:2. It says, some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. That's what they've been doing this, man, for ages. From all, not just Jake, from all nations, man. And that's why I say the kings of the earth, hey, all hands shall be upon these devils, man. Verse 18 reads, he is swift as the waters, their portion is cursed in the earth. And that's why the Lord said, don't be envious of these devils, man. Because their portion is cursed in the earth, man. It said he is swift as the waters, their portion is cursed in the earth. He beholdeth not the way of the vineyard. It said drought and heat consume the snow waters, so doeth the grave those which have sinned. This devil was made to be the wicked, man. And the Lord got a special judgment for him. Oh, right here say Job 24:23, though it be given him to be in safety. See, these devils, hey, because the Lord put a hedge around these devils, man. That's why he said, any man slay of Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold, right? Well, when you go to the pride of one of these grandsons of Cain, I guess it was. Let's read this. This is Genesis 4:15. And the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, said unto him, therefore, whosoever slay of Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any find of him should kill him, right? The Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slay of Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. We can't do nothing to these devils, man, because the Lord have a special judgment for these devils, man. We don't got to do nothing. They was going to rise for a little bit of time, and then they was going to fall, right? Now, this is what this guy said. This is Genesis 4:28, Genesis 4:23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. So this is a guy boasting of him killing somebody and getting away with it. Well, the Lord said it was going to happen. This is Psalms. The Lord put a hedge around these devils, man. This is Psalm 73:5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them again as a garment, man. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than hearts could wish. They cannot be satisfied. It said they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, which is you Israelites. They set their mouth against Yahweh Shema Shai, and you Israelites, man. Therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. Man, that's cold. I forgot about that precept for the lesson I did yesterday about what's in your cup, man. It say, therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. Hey, so what's in your cup, man? Mercy or wrath, man? And they say, how do power know? And is there and is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Let me get this back in Job. This is Job 24 and 23. We saw these devils rise, but in the moment, they finna fall, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Come on, these devils is hurt. That's why they pushed that bill, man. Talking about the bill for white people, for the discomfort or the guilt of slavery. Man, get out of here, man. It say, Job 24 and 23, though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways, meaning Yahweh Shema Shah. It say, though it be given him to be in safety, right? Whereon he resteth, the Lord gave that spirit to them, gave them that comfort, that hedge. It say, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. What does it mean to be gone and brought low? I read in Ecclesiastes 33, man, right? It says some of them have been cursed and brought low, man. Who is this? Is Esau Edom, man. It say, but are gone and brought low, they are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. It said they are gone and brought low and cut off, man. It says as all others. As all other what? Every other kingdom that came about, they rose and they fell, and they are not, man. In Babylon the Great, we at the feet of the statue, man. How beautiful it is, man. When you read about Daniel, man, Daniel was at the head of the statue, man. Now we are at the feet, man. And the Lord told Daniel what? You got to come back too. Close up the book until the end, right? Because it was going to be a long run, man. Every kingdom over and over, every third and fourth generation, man. Well, now we here and we seeing these devils fall, man. They are they down on one knee with one hand on the ground, man. They ain't standing up no more, man. They got one knee on the ground and one hand on the ground, man. It say, if it be not so, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? The Lord said, if it's not so that these devils ain't gonna be brought down, who shall make him a liar, man? Let's read this again. Job 24 and 23. Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. Back to your bases of men, back to the caves. It said they are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so, and if it be not so, it say, and if it be not so now, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? Nobody. Because the Lord is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent, man. This is Job 26. This is Job 26 and 12. It reads, it say, he divided the sea with his power, Yahweh Shema Shah, and by his understanding, he smitten through the proud. And that's what we see going on. The Lord is smiting through the proud, man. It say, verse 13, by his spirit, he have garnished the heavens. His hands that it say, his hands have formed the crooked serpent, man. So everything this devil do is because of the Lord, man. It's for the Lord's purpose, man. This is Job 27. I had to get a couple of these, man. This is Job 27:13. It reads, this is the portion of a wicked man with power and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If your children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring should not be satisfied with bread, which we see they crying out now, man. Running to the nobles. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on. And to tell you that also in Proverbs 29, it say, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He opened his eyes, and he is not, Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth. And as a storm hurteth him out of his place. For power shall cast upon him and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. It say men shall clap their hands at him and shall hiss him out of his place. And that's what we see starting to happen, man. This devil is starting to be removed, man. The Lord is really doing things in the earth, man. Hey, everybody's complaining about this devil, man. I was watching the news this morning, and this one Edomite said, the female, she said, she going to the grocery store and spending almost $400 on 3 people, man, because of the inflation, man. Was because of him that's in rulership. Because of this devil, man. And that's what it. Hey, oh, I had to write this down. The brother was telling me about this, and they showed it this morning on the news, man. There's a group of people in Ukraine that's fighting to overthrow Ukraine government and put in there a Moscow leader, man. I forgot what the brother called him. I forgot the names of the people, but they showed it on the news this morning. I've been watching Newsy and some other world news this morning, and they were showing it's a group, and the brother was telling me about a couple weeks ago at camp. There's a group in Ukraine. They fighting for Russia, man, to take over Ukraine, man. So while you got these devils trying to defend Ukraine, you got people that's in Ukraine fighting to overthrow Ukraine's government so they can put in there some Moscow leaders, man. The Lord, hey, this guy Putin, how you pronounce it? Now he ain't finna let that go down, man. We in some beautiful times, man. Beautiful times. And I'm going to close with this. 2nd Ezra 11 and 39. All these things is going down. As I read earlier in Psalm 37:15, their own sword shall pierce through their heart, man. It say, 2nd Ezra 11:39, are not thou it that remainest of the 4th beast, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them. 2nd Ezra 6:9, man. The end of their time is going to come through them, man. The Lord has set these devils up to bring their own self down. Oh, let me get this. This is Ecclesiasticus 21 and 27. When the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul. So the end of their times is going to come through them, man. Hey, Lord was edifying. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rukah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready to accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to the octane pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the 4 winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hope for the elect. The shalom to the walk who are listening, learning, the few sisters who are listening, learning. Lord was edifying today. Tell them I say shalom, wa ababa. Hey, the water for tuning in. Hey, the water for your precepts. May you have Shemal Shah continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Hey, Salaki, I couldn't read all the precepts. I had a lot of them myself, so Salaki for that. But the water for the precepts, man. The water for tuning in. May you have Shemal Shah continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up, man. Stay prayed up. Things about to get serious. Stay prayed up, man. Prayer is key, man. Keep your Shemal Shah on your mind 24/7, man. Hey, wa ababa.